technically supposed to be written for green new teachers, but hopefully you're gaining something. But the advice I always give to teachers when they are tackling technology is to make sure that you start small and don't overwhelm yourself. But if you're gonna start small, you better be darn good at that small thing. And the kids need to know that you're good at that small thing, right? And then every now and again, you take on another task, another small task, to kind of build your technology knowledge. Be consistent with signage. Talk to colleagues about expectations and language. That's important. When a student travels from teacher to teacher all day long with different expectations, even as much as where's the teacher's Kleenex box, to where's the sharpener, to where's the garbage, how do I head my paper, oh yeah, she likes it when I, you know, every teacher has a different set of rules and protocols. Think of that poor child. And now I'm thinking of my son, who's going to be a 10th grader with BYOD, and man, he needs a device. I'm already thinking that, right? Joel.
Sorry.
And
Sorry.
can I write a grant?
I don't have to bring a device, remember?
But I'm thinking about him throughout his day at Red River, visiting different classrooms with different expectations, and maybe his first class, you know, the teacher's like, you know, put your devices away as a hand in the air. You know, maybe the second one, it's a clap. Maybe the third one, red light, you know, that means stop using devices. Clam, that means shut your computer. I mean, I want to make sure that when a student visits classroom to classroom, I'm not saying you have to be carbon copies or cookie cutters, but you should at least maybe juggle 3 things together that you agree on with your team so that your kids know what to expect. Take one thing off their plate to make them feel secure and confident in your class. Otherwise, you know, and actually it will help you because they're going to be trained with knowing what is expected. Be present, be seen, be a lurker. And like I said, you can't make connections when you're sitting at your desk. It just doesn't work that way. When kids know you're up and around, they know you're not one to fool. You know, they know they can't get away with it because she's coming or he's coming. Just be there and then consistently be there. And you in the end, it's kind of like that parenting skill. If you're consistent about saying no at the Target cashier, no to anything on that, right? That low, oh, I hate that thing, where all the good stuff's at the bottom and they can see it. I said no for 2 years, and now I don't even have to say it because they know. However, I make it a treat every now and again to surprise them. Let your students be a resource. We talked about this earlier, leverage that. Okay, it's hard not to feel less than, and it's hard not to feel maybe your confidence level just went down. Embrace it. Use them. Let them shine.
And they love that.
They do.
They
love it. I taught summer school math, and I had a student, I was starting my project, and I'm like, okay, any questions? Ms. Dodson, do you think we could do it this way instead? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, that's awesome. I'm like, that's a great idea. I'm open to ideas and using anything that they come up with that obviously is within reason, right? Bringing in like animals and sloughs, exactly. Probably not time for them. And last, just accept the fact that they do. It's a fact. They know more than you do. It's okay. Oh, so from here on out, we kind of have some nuts and bolts. Whoops. No, I'm going to keep doing that. I have nuts and bolts to go over, or answer any other questions that you might have regarding technology.
While you're handing that out, do you want to tell people how you're using your iPad to run your presentation?
I'd love to. Thanks. When it works. This is not being very friendly with it, this Epson, or it's my computer if not, but normally it's pretty seamless. It's Doceri, or Doceri, depending on how you say it. I downloaded it on my computer. It's an app on my iPad, and so I can manipulate my computer via this. It's quite nice, especially when you can't be in both places at the same time. I mean, it's kind of silly. I hate being tied to the front. It really bothers me. I want to be out here with kids and be like, oh, can you read whatever, you know? Oh, so it's basically the same screen, right?
Do you do all of your smartboard stuff in Google Docs? Is that all
Yeah.
mixed?
I don't use Smartboard.
Okay, that's,
I use Google Docs and Google Presentation for all of my agendas every day. Now, do I use this every single day? No, I like to mix it up. I like to keep kids guessing, right? That's kind of what I do. Can't be too, yeah, so it's nice. Now, it's a free version, so I don't have the ability, like you can record your lesson. I could record and talk, and I could draw on here, and it would record and save everything if I had the paid version. I'm cheap, I'm sorry. And it's for what I use it for. It's just a remote, basically. Yeah. But if you have a question and I need to talk to you, I can bring it with me and then still teach from back here. I don't have to hurry up, run back to the front or have a student click for you, or they like that job. They do. Let's see. See, now all of you have had devices. No one's new, right, to device. You're all in, right? Joel, anything new from a middle school standpoint?
Well, phasing out the netbooks, so the eighth graders will have netbooks this year. That'll be the last year, but then it's the Samsung Chromebooks in 7th grade this year, and then the Dell Chromebooks in 6th grade. So kind of got to stay nimble when it comes to evolving technology landscape for learning. So do we like 3 different devices in the middle school? No, not really, but I think the Chromebook is the way to go.
is the 5th graders coming up in the next year having the same Chromebook, or are you still looking at that?
5th grade classroom teachers are keeping them, so they keep them year to year, but we're taking a swing at replacing the oldest netbooks in 5th grade with the Dell Chromebooks. So those students, they're all using Google Docs, so whether you're using a Chromebook or a netbook, it kind of doesn't matter. But nonetheless, some will have that Chromebook experience coming in. So we're replacing 9 classrooms of the oldest netbooks now, and we'll slowly keep on doing that.
Coming back to this quick for teacher resources, Christy Sandbeck put these in here. This is more the one-to-one BYOD, but there's still great information. I found a really cute site for signage that lets you create, the big thing now is stoplights. So like red, yellow, green, and when you say red, the kids know. But if you had that common sign in their classes, what a great thing. And don't recreate it. There's already a site that has that for you. Why not use it? Pinterest. Is Pinterest still closed? Okay. Pinterest has great info for one-to-one and oodles of resources there. And so what I do at home then is I will go through, pin it, and then bookmark the page, because it's usually blogs and teacher classrooms who share information, or articles that you can get information from as well. So you can't get Pinterest at school, but you can still bookmark the link that'll get you there. Okay? So if you want, you can Google signage and then look at images if you want to connect or collaborate with anyone in here that you have common kids with, and just start brainstorming. And maybe you already have a set of rules that are well known in your class. That's okay too.
What about cell phones? That's the other, I was wondering, like in high school they can have their cell phones, middle school they're supposed to keep them in the locker, but they all have them in their boots, and are we, because that's the other piece I struggle with, because I know they have them, and then they get up and use the bathroom, and they take them in the bathroom, and is that something we're looking at, or?
It's going to evolve there. I mean, you just know it is. But I would say talk with your building principal before you do anything, because some building principals have said, a teacher says, I'd really like to do this project, and 50% of the kids can bring in a smartphone, and could I do this project? And that's been okay, for a certain snapshot in time. But then, back to consistency, you start being inconsistent, and then I'm putting my school administrator hat on now, and things kind of come unraveled real quick. Same thing when I was at Red River, for a while it was, you can only use your cell phone by the main entrance, by door 1. And during lunch, kids were, it's like, geez, what are we fighting here?
Right.
Okay, you can use them in the commons, not in the bathrooms, not in locker rooms, not in the classrooms, not, and all of a sudden our kids are just like, thanks, you trust us to use our phones when you allow us to, and we don't have to sneak it here and there and so on. So I think it's just an ongoing conversation that you have to have, and so that leads into BYOD in the middle school. Is that ever going to happen? I'd say we're going to kind of get through the high school thing and see how that goes, and then see if do we need to keep providing devices for all the middle school kids, or can 25%, 30% bring their own device? That's just part of the ongoing learning that we have to do.
Because personally, I would like to say, kids, put your phone on the desk, so I know if they're using the bathroom, the phone is still there.
Yep.
Versus.
See, we visited, were you at the school in Minot when we went, or Bismarck?
Or in a pocket chart or somewhere, just to keep it more visible to me, versus they sneak it, I know that. I was in middle school once.
To me, we kind of create criminals sometimes. We kind of do, I'm sorry. Like, because you know that kid is going to go check whatever, and if they're not going to the bathroom, you know what they're going to do. I mean, you just know that, right? So why do we want to encourage that? I mean, how many of you check your phone throughout the day? Joel's here, who cares? Who checks their phone? It is what it is.
I do.
I do. I mean, if I have a moment, I gotta check it. I mean, there's things going on, right? For kids, they have that same urgency. So why not build it in? And that's where my hopes would be to go someday. But when we went to Bismarck to visit, it was an open school, open policy, phone campus. And they gave the kids the connectivity, told them what it was, so the kids got connectivity to the Wi-Fi. Then throughout the day, they were given breaks out in the hallway between classes, so the kids would be checking. They walked into the class. When they did, they put their phone upside down in the corner of their desk.
I would love that.
And that way they were there. What a great feeling to know that my teacher trusts me, and to know that if I follow this rule, I am going to have an opportunity to check it. And I know when the appropriate time is, and I'm not going to abuse it because I don't want to lose it. Right? And what a great thing. They also had like a common area in their commons where it was, people did, use their technology, just so people were kind of aware. They didn't want free technology all over the school taking pictures of things, right? But they did have like a connectivity cafe area where the kids would, connect there. Out in the hallway, before classes outside, they had a little break. They walked in, okay, put them down. I mean, and they listened. I sat in the back and I was so skeptical. I'm like, this is not gonna work. I'm like, okay, where is the sneaky one? I'm not looking around. Yeah. And they knew they were trusted. And they knew it wasn't a secret about the Wi-Fi password. And they knew, they were in a community where they were trusted, and, they're gonna perform.
Well, I used the QR reader in one of my classes. I said, okay, kids, you can go get your cell phone out of your locker. They didn't even walk out of the room, they all pulled out of the locker. They just walk out of the room and make it look good. So they have them. I'd rather be open with it than, like you said, when they're sitting in class and they're like, well, it, their phone's going off somewhere, and they now need to check it because it's that.
I don't know if we start off with a pilot with that, or how that works, or if we don't even go there. But I watched it, and it
I
worked.
believe it would work.
It worked.
I think they're sneaky. Some of them go to the bathroom or try to 3 times during class.
Or how bad they feel they're in their locker, and they know they're not supposed to.
Yeah,
But
their heads inside their locker.
like, why do we have that? Let's not create that. Let's just have open trust with them and let them know that if we get to that much.
And I think, honestly, that's a middle school principal's issue to address, because they want to be consistent across all middle schools in Grand Forks. So see what their appetite is, and I mean, they're the ones that are going to have to enforce the policy. They're going to have the ones that are going to set the expectations for kids. They're going to have to be the ones to work with teachers and say, here's when it's appropriate, here's when it's not appropriate. So I would say have them start the conversation. It's a good question, though. And that a lot of that same stuff is a lot of the conversations we had when we were talking about high school BYOD. Same things.
All right.